pressing the.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cow Corner Dugout. Here we are, Mumbai Indians. Today we're taking on Punjab Kings. And what am I saying? Were is the game already decided? Of course, it looks like that. And to share some thoughts with me, the usual suspects, Nirav and Trinay. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Not too different from the result we thought last night, right? I think all of us were unanimous that PBKS is going to win tonight.
They're a better batting team for sure, and definitely an outstanding chasing team. So again, in these kind of situations, as a team batting first, you have to get above par. And we've seen the last 4-5 games at Wankhede, including the IPL and the games in the World Cup. 240, 245 has been good scores, 220 in pretty much every innings. So I think, yes, there was a bit of double paced or whatever it's called. I don't know these things specifically, but definitely way under par. They needed.
Right. Interestingly, when they got to 195, that was exactly the same total West Indies did against England in that T20 World Cup. And I was briefly thinking, West Indies had 49 dots in that innings. I think these guys, Mumbai Indians, had about 36 or 37. So I was wondering what kind of a pitch it was, dots and stuff like that. But yes, as much as
really
I
compare from 10 years ago, though, right?
No, not here. The game 2 months back in February.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
T20 World Cup. Yeah, T20 World Cup. And 195, I was thinking, man, this looks low. And then Namandir came with all that honesty on television, came and said, hey, good total, no, we're 20 runs short. There's a lot of honesty.
They know it. It's good. They know, they're aware, they know where they stand. And if they weren't 20 runs short in their batting innings, they were 20 runs short in their first over. So
easily, that's like 40 runs.
So there was the difference. And honestly, if Punjab had 220 to chase today, it would have been, just a 6 or 7
just
ball.
About a par. Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have chased it in 18 or 19, 18.5 or 18.4 or something like that.
So I think now they'll probably finish at 21 balls is probably my estimate.
17, 20, no, more than that. Fair
8 of 24 balls required.
8 of 24, so 20 balls at the most.
But it's been a disappointing performance from Mumbai. We also wanted to get one Mumbai fan from Colombo, Hindustan. But Hindustan declined, saying, Nahi, I'm really disappointed with the way these guys have performed. I'm not in a mood to talk. But that makes Mumbai Indians at 9, Kolkata Knight Riders at 10. The points table doesn't move after this game, but Punjab Kings would probably move to the top.
Imagine how Hardik Pandya feels, having to go match after match after match, say, at the end of the match, immediately, because they catch the losing captain within a couple of minutes. To have to say this again and again and again, and then repeat the same thing in the dressing room, right? So imagine what he goes through when as a captain, when teams are doing badly. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for a legacy team, for a guy who's had success.
But this is what Mumbai started like this also last time, right? I don't think they had like a great start last time. They were 1 in 5 games, and then they suddenly started winning some 6 or 7 games. They easily qualified to the playoffs. I think they qualified 4th, and yeah, but yes, I think this is the same team that came and ate their dinner that time on June 1st. I was just looking at some of the scorecards. I was there that day in Ahmedabad. But here, Mumbai is in the last cluster, Mumbai and Kolkata. Do you think their IPL is over, or we've seen enough of the IPL to see that teams can somehow make a comeback?
Kolkata is done. Mumbai probably have a pretty good chance.
Why?
To bounce
There's 1
back.
point. You think that 1 point is making a difference for you to say that Mumbai can bounce, or is it just that you're thinking both these teams cannot do anything significantly in terms of their resource?
Mumbai have the resources to do something, push for top 4 potentially. I don't see that in Kolkata. They don't have the resources, and I think they have too much ego to bench Cam Green. And that's probably the only way they win. Not because he's a bad player as such, because their combination merits a Blessing Musirabani or Patirana if he's fit in their side. And I don't think they're going to do it. And besides that, they have a cluster of anchors, with Raghuvanshi, Rahane and Green. So they're not going to be able to put 200 plus totals on consistently, which is something you need in this day and age.
As we say that Mumbai Indians have lost the game, they've lost by 7 wickets, and I can see a lot of Punjab supporters feeling very happy. And one of the sullen faces is Jasprit Bumrah. There is a comment coming from Prapti. Prapti is saying that Mumbai will finish in top 6. अरे यार ये top 6 का क्या business है? Top 4 का business है ना? How does it matter कि 6 हुआ तो क्या हुआ?
Consolation prize.
Consolation prize.
Participation trophy. Well, they are currently, the good thing is they're currently at the top of that, whatever that's called, the Good Behavior Award. What is it called?
Fair Play Award.
Fair Play Award. So, which is unusual for Mumbai. Which is unusual for Mumbai to be at the top of that. But currently they are. So, something they might go home with on finals night.
Right. But yes, nothing's happening. I think that's what even a couple of my friends were also asking. Is it again a one-sided boring game today? And I told them that, if Mumbai is batting first, definitely Punjab's going to go chase this down in. I was expecting 18 to 19 overs, but given they were 20 under par, it got chased in the 18th over itself. But here we are, and Jasprit Bumrah, in a race to the purple cap, Jasprit Bumrah and Shashank Singh, if you were to put them in that race, Shashank Singh is slightly ahead of Jasprit Bumrah. We never saw that coming, didn't we?
Jasprit Bumrah is first from the bottom at this point. You have to take a wicket in 5 games of 20 overs, which is, so that actually, I mean, I know we are bringing up some stats and all that, but I think his performance this season, or rather his lack of wicket taking this season, has skewed all his career stats, drastically, right?
So not really. I mean, it's only a couple of matches, right?
It's 20 overs, 5 matches, 20 overs, 120 balls. His strike, I mean, today he's gone for over 40. No, he's bowled only 3 overs today.
I thought he bowled the 4th over, right? He bowled 4. The 4th over, he got hit by Shreyas Iyer to square leg.
Yeah, there we go.
So I think there were some notes on Jasprit Bumrah that we had. I'll probably allow Trinay to go with whatever he has, and then I've also done a little bit of analysis on Jasprit Bumrah. What times did he bowl? So Hardik's again being called for the interview. I'm waiting to see on Cricket what he's going to say.
So 4 overs for 41 again for Jasprit, right? I mean, that's become par, because as a bowling unit they are going for 10 and over plus in most games.
Right.
So it's been there will be a couple of, yes, people are trying to take him easy. I mean, take it easy against him. So in the power play, I'm noticing they're okay with 5, 6 and over. In the middle overs, they're okay with 7 and 8. In the death, they're okay with 10 and over of him. But today, I think that early dropped catch, which he dropped. I think those things kind of, I mean, today wasn't Jasprit's best day in the field.
Right. I'm just okay. Do you have something, or shall I go ahead sharing my screen? Okay, so I'm just going to go share my screen. I was just doing some research. Is my screen visible? Not as yet?
Not yet.
Now it is.
Now it is? Are you seeing a bar graph?
Kind of.
Yes.
Okay. So this is, I'm using Claude for my analysis. I've got a data set, IPL data set, and it's trying to play around. And these are the overs that Jasprit Bumrah has bowled. Let's go to his IPL 2025. And if
can you zoom in a bit? Can you increase your screen size? Yeah.
So this is Jasprit Bumrah in IPL 2025. And if you were to look at, these are his core stats. So in both the years, IPL 2024 and 2025, he used to strike at 15.6 or 15.8 balls per wicket. So that has always been consistent. Dot ball percentage also, the last year was in 2024 was 46.3, minorly reduced to 44%. So he has a certain standard, Jasprit Bumrah, when he comes in bowls. So if he's bowling 48 overs, he's taking 18 wickets. This time he's gone to 20 overs and has not taken a wicket. I'm curious to understand, is it because he's been bowled differently, or is it just that there is complete lack of support from the support cast of the other bowlers that are there, which right now, from what we've also discussed earlier in the competition, looks a case of the latter. Would you think so?
I really don't know. Yes, so all of it is true, but not necessarily correlated in the sense that um, there. I mean, there is. What do I say? He has no support, right?
No
Trent Bolt
support.
used
That's
to
what
do
I'm
the
saying.
damage. Yeah, so that is true. And I don't know. I haven't.
He's had decent enough support, right? I mean,
When
Santner
I
is
say
pretty
support,
good.
no, you're talking about ability. But in this edition of the IPL, has Santner or Bolt picked up early wickets? Because while Santner is also bowled in the power play, and Santner is usually that bank, right, who at least keeps the run scoring quiet. But even that hasn't probably happened as much as it used to do, happen earlier with Mitchell Santner. So I'm guessing that's definitely been a problem for Mumbai Indians. But in terms of position, he has always bowled one in the power play, bowls one in the middle overs, and then has 2 overs of depth. So that's his distribution so far, and it's not been any different at all in terms of when Mumbai actually used Jasprit Bumrah. Usually, he's very successful, and he never bowls the first over. I just realized that in the last 3 years, even this year, as well as 24 and 25, Jasprit always starts off in the second over. But yeah, fifth over is when he's picked up the most wickets when he's bowling in the power play, because probably people are looking to accelerate after the swing is gone. And apart from that, I think Jasprit picks up wickets in the 19th over. And
So that's
the
3 wickets in the fifth over.
wicket,
Out.
a strike rate of 10. So he's taken 3 wickets in 30 balls.
And
He's
the
bowled
second
5
over
overs.
is.
Second over, he's
And
probably bowled 1 over, only just once, and he's given four
taken
a
wicket.
Not taken a wicket. Not taken a wicket.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
not taken a wicket. Third over, he's
Okay.
taken a wicket.
Okay.
But I think his whole utility is, of course, at the end, and I think Trinai has some interesting stats on Jasprit Bumrah's ability at the death. Trinai, do you want to bring up that screen?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are his numbers for his last 20 matches.
Not
These
including today.
not including today. Yeah,
Not
in his
included.
last 20 matches, he's picked up 24 wickets at an economy of 7.14 in 78 overs. Yeah, we can
Go ahead.
go to the next slide. Yeah. Now, these are his phase-wise numbers, which means where is Bumrah bowling his overs and how are the Mumbai Indians using him? Obviously, all of the data from here are all recent, last 20 matches, so keep that in mind for the rest of the presentation. He bowls the same number of overs at the death as he does up top, 35.8% each, and every now and then he'll chip in with an over or two in the middle, which is what explains the 28.4. But keep in mind his power play and his death, which is where he bowls the majority of his overs. Now, this is probably the most interesting graph in this whole presentation. This is Bumrah's economy by phase. We split it into power play overs 1 to 6, the middle overs, overs 7 to 15, and the death overs, which is obviously the last 5. When you look at this economy in the power play, it is about 7.7, which is slightly better than the league's
The
average
rest.
economy. Yeah, than the rest. In the middle, he improved significantly. He's going at a little less than 6 runs an over, which is, again, it's a big drop compared to everybody else. But in the death, this is where I feel he has his highest impact, because all the other bowlers are going at 11.5 or 11.75 per over, runs per over, while he is going at 7.5 an over, which are absolutely ridiculous numbers. Those numbers
Okay,
would
so
look good in 1 day.
question. The pink graph is everybody else in Bumrah's 20 matches or in general?
In general.
So then it's not a
I
fair
think-
comparison, right? So it's not a fair comparison if it's not
It's in the same
in
years.
Bumrah, but it's not in those same matches, right? So it's where he's playing, it's how he's doing against other people in the same matches. That's what I think is our I mean, yeah.
It's
So
a better metric.
this is a good metric, but yeah.
But I don't think the numbers are very too much. Maybe 0.5
No,
here.
not about that. No, it's not about that. I think we need the exact numbers to understand the difference. Let's say when Bumrah
impact
is
he's
playing
making towards the result
versus
of his games.
correct.
Yeah.
So there are some metrics for this, which are I think net runs over the average economy that the top
The
20 bowlers have.
absolute economy and absolute strike rate, right? That's what is
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
true
him
strike rate
compared
will
to
be
other
good.
people. True, sir.
Yeah, I think we can do some of these stat
We'll
based.
come back to this in next.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Of course, we will look at some of the stat based analysis, but I think it's important to pick a framework and maybe put it out once every 2-3 days to see if the framework has made any new changes with respect to the metrics we see across other teams. But these teams right now, I think, are it's. Let's go to the points table from where we are. Oh, sorry, you have a graph that is showing
Yeah, I had two more
where
slides. Yeah, the previous one. Yeah, this is in his team, comparing him to his own bowlers. In the power play, he's bowled in the last 20 games, he's bowled 24.1% of their power play overs, but he's taken only 21.4% of their overall wickets, which is average, you'd say. It's not mind blowing like his death economy numbers or his raw numbers for death. So you can say he's a slightly better than par opening bowler. And when you have Chahar and Bolt in the same team, does it warrant giving him the new ball or making him bowl in the first six? What do you guys think?
I think at the end, if Mumbai is able to create an impact, where sometimes if teams are able to pull back a team in the power play, because power play is a boost. Like for example, a team like Punjab today was very defensive. They were not the usual Punjab that I've seen. They scored 60 runs in the power play. If maybe you had taken a couple of wickets and I think the wickets came through Allah doesn't suffer. But if let's say they were 45 for 3 or something like that, it would have definitely dampened their approach. And this is probably where Mumbai need their best bowler on the park to come make an impact. And I think Mumbai today did make the efforts. Unfortunately, things are not going their way. Hardik Pandya came, bowled that first ball, and Bumrah dropped. I could kind of sense that he's probably not in the best state of mind. Maybe the stat is also getting to him. It's been a very different IPL in momentum for Mumbai Indians. 1 in 5 games with all the pressure. And an interesting thing is not all of our T20I winning side bowlers are actually doing well, except for, I mean, this is valid till 8 p.m. Arshdeep Singh came and picked up 3 wickets today, so it's good to see him get back to form. But yes, I think that way
more than his wickets. I have a comment on Arshdeep Singh. I thought I went through his ball by ball, and I thought more than his wickets, I thought the 2 wicket taking balls were the weakest of his first 2 overs, because he had the ball on a string with Quinton de Kock, and Quinny couldn't get bat on ball for the first 4 balls, right? And that I think allows the bowler on the other side to be decided as well, because normally they've been going for Xavier Bartlett, and today I think there was a last minute decision to throw in a Marco Jansen. So what we actually got to see is a very rare phenomenon in IPL, which is 2 overs, the first 2 overs of a game, only left-handed batters and only left-handed bowlers. So it's a very, very rare thing to have happened, and it was interesting because I felt Arshdeep, like he's been bowling wides, whether it is his first over or his last over. Right, today I don't think he bowled a wide, so there has been something he's done right, or he just woke up on the good side of the bed, or he stepped on the ground with the correct foot. Something is done right. I don't know what it is.
And it's good to see, right? When a fast bowler in a T20, especially like in the IPL, if you're delivering 13 dots in a 4-over spell, you know that you got that itself puts the team ahead. And I think despite all of their slowness, Mumbai got to 190 odd, but just wasn't enough. And I think it's also the fact that if one batter is taking on scoring runs, the others aren't really chipping in. Today we had Quinton de Kock scored 112. Naman scored 50 of 31. So if you add these two up, so the rest of the batsmen have scored 33 in 29 balls, losing 5 wickets. But presents a very sorry picture of all of Mumbai's, of batting riches. That isn't coming to good at all. That so their batting is subpar. Their bowling is made even more subpar because of the dew, and they don't have the ability to come back or make that comeback. So that way, even though I'm seeing that in these CSK's won these two games against weaker teams, it gives a massive boost if you're able to actually go against due and deliver a performance like that against Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders. But yeah, that's just the only abnormality we've seen in the IPL, because usually the script is if you're chasing, you win. So that's been the overall narrative so far. But getting to the points table that we have today, where is the point? I think the points table isn't coming. Yeah, here is the points table. Punjab Kings move right to the top, but for that one rained out game, I think they would be on 10, but here they are on 9. Punjab,
Will that hurt
RCB,
them?
and
I think will that was it. That was an easy 2 points, right? They already had KKR in trouble, and incidentally, that's the only toss they've lost, and yet they were chasing.
Definitely, I think in terms of, you'd never want to miss the point like that, right? And that too against a team like KKR. And yeah, it's a bummer, but I don't think it's going to cost them given the form they have. Punjab under Ponting and Shreyas have shown that they're a team that is able to carry that momentum across all of the 14 games, even into the playoffs. And they've done that. And I think I see the top three sides having that ability: PBKS, RCB, and RR. Something has to go really wrong with respect to form, or let's say a power play or a top order batter, going out of form, for these sides, to have some kind of a hole through which they can lose games, or some other sides can, come up. But right now the points table is a three-way race for the first two spots. And maybe I think you have the other teams which are SRH, DC, GT, LSG, and CSK. I'm happy to have CSK in this league of five. This is basically cluster two of teams that have played 5 games. I think even there we'd have two clusters. One is teams that have played 4 games and have 2 wins, teams that have played 5 games and have 2 wins. So that way DC and GT are slightly ahead for me. I would call them cluster two. Then come to me. I mean, after them, I probably have SRH, LSG, and CSK in cluster three. So looks like a very very clear division. It looks like this is the upper class, and then you have second class, third class, and Mumbai right now are
That's the
right at the
top
bottom.
three are the ones which, again, as we said right in the beginning, are the teams that have the settled 11s and not too many injury problems. It's all the others you'll see are pretty much making 2 changes every game. SRH, DC isn't though, so I'm thinking DC and GT actually aren't, so they might be better off than the SRHs and the LSGs. LSG is lucky to have 4 points. Honestly, they have been in the same category as KKR, if you ask me. I mean, it's just something has allowed them those 4 points because they got out of jail, as I say, with a manager who's jail.
Coach. DC also got unlucky, right? Twice. Both
DC
matches were. The CSK match they should have lost, but they were in it. The other one, the Miller game, that was theirs for the taking. They should have won that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sometimes teams find themselves. It's a cruel format, and somebody's saying CSK and SRH same class. I think right now with 2 wins in 5 games, both of them look similar.
We'll know. They have a weekend clash.
So they have a weekend clash on Saturday, and I think there were people who were wanting to. There was one ticket on a group that is, I think somebody's bought a ticket for 9,000 rupees, and he was wanting to. He was not sure about going, so he had put his ticket at the group if somebody wanted it. But yes, MS Dhoni is going to be around. At least that's the buzz where people have. Sakshi has put an Instagram story. The broadcaster has put the story. I think the IPL is going to be happy. Or the broadcaster is going to be happy because Dhoni is going to be playing, irrespective of the result. I think Dhoni
is he playing
coming
or
in.
Is he traveling? Is it confirmed that he's playing?
He's traveling for now, and that itself, I think the broadcaster will do enough to milk that out. Because yeah, it's a fair assumption, but I really don't know.
He wasn't at the ground last game. No one saw him, and it was a home game, and no one's seen him up till now. Besides at the practices before the games, so the fact that he's traveling makes me believe that there's a very good chance he's going to play. I know we've discussed a lot about how it messes up the team combination, but yeah, he probably is going to take a spot.
But yeah, if CSK actually go win that game, SRH will stay in 2 wins in 6 games, and CSK will have 3 wins in 6 games, and they will go to fifth position. That's quite a climb from a team that lost their first 3 games. But yes, that's the format of the IPL, where you have these midweek, every week, positions keep moving up and down, and yeah, it's getting interesting. Punjab Kings, of course, and RCB are looking really, really dominating in terms of the ability they have and their ability to play a above par game. Very consistent in playing that or doing that. So I'm happy to see
Yeah, I'm not
both these teams.
liking this kind of IPL actually. I'm not liking the fact that there is that on a given day, everything had to go right for MI. They had to win the toss, they had to get early wickets, they had to field well, restrict SRH to under 190 to 180 and then chase it down, right? Far too many things to do. And that's what's happening in these clashes. There are teams which are clearly the favorites. Usually it's like, it's most games over the years have been 60-40s at best. Even in MI's peak year, right? DC used to run them close, CSK used to run them close. There's been, I mean, it's seeming like these top tier teams will end up with 20 points the way they're going. And that's not healthy for. I like the 16-18 cluster at the end. So 18 means 9 out of 14 wins, which means every 5 games you should be losing at least 1 or 2, and there are teams which are not. So
I think this is where the week it will change is what I'm thinking, because I'm curious to understand what is it that can happen to a Punjab Kings, or what is the situation that can happen to Punjab Kings wherein they are under par. Like we saw that with Delhi Capitals. I never expected them to lose to CSK. 60 odd in the power play for 1 or 2. KL Rahul's wicket, and I think Tristan, I don't know who else was the other opener along with KL Rahul who got out. But yeah, that was not Patum Nisanka. Yeah, he got out caught right after what KL Rahul got out. So I think that way, you never know sometimes if the wicket's turning or gripping. Suddenly, a team like CSK, came under the fore. So I'm just curious to understand what's going to take to stop those teams in red, which is Punjab Kings, RCB, and Rajasthan. Red and pink. Sasina Uploader says, clear. Once I'm just finishing this comment, a clear distinction. Teams are valuing data and maxing on intent are the leaders, which is fair. SRH could have been one, but they've messed up their options. Next mega options teams should look to align. It's not like they don't align. Like, for example, they try their best, but auction dynamics are such that you sometimes don't get the team that you want. I'm curious to understand if they could actually show as a post the auction, how did the teams think through their auction? But I'm curious to understand what was the thought process for CSK under Fleming, under Dhoni. How did they go pick the team that they did? Similar for somebody like a Ricky Ponting, because Punjab has been a perennial underperforming team until Shreyas Iyer and Ricky Ponting came together. Now, I'm just trying to, as a fan, stay at a distance and see, okay, the same Shreyas Iyer took Delhi Capitals to a playoffs in 2019.
They were good early years, right? I mean, they were good like in the first few years.
Punjab Kings?
It's just that Punjab Kings, yeah, they made a
I
finals.
Remember in 2008.
With Sehwag.
That was 2008
was the Sean Marsh raid.
Correct. They came to the semi-finals, losing to CSK. They lost the semi-finals to CSK.
So they topped the table, right? Didn't they top the table first year?
I thought Rajasthan Royals did. No, Rajasthan Royals. First,
I just remember Sean Marsh winning, cruising every chase. So
yeah,
that's my only
their
memory from
next
that year.
big year was 2014, and as Steve Bhai says, Ridwan Saha scored 100 in the final. Sehwag scored that 100 with CSK in the semi-final, and that was a good year for Punjab Kings, 2014. But after that, Ashwin's year looked promising. They didn't come to the playoffs. And where else? I think
this is a case of changing captains 3 times a season. So there was a long period where they just kept changing the captains, right? And Maxwell captain, Miller captain, Bailey captain, Sangakkara captain, Sehwag. So there were a bunch of captains, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. KL Rahul gave it up after one season. Ashwin gave it up after one season. Murli Vijay, I'm forgetting. Ashwin gave it up after one season. KL gave it up after one season. So obviously the players and the captains and the coaches weren't in sync. right?
Right.
Uh, there was a strength and conditioning coach in one of the years who with Punjab Kings who actually came from the airport, and my Bombay office was fairly close to the airport. He came first to our office and then never went to the team hotel. So he spent 2 days chilling in Bandra. He was saying, I don't need to show up because nobody comes. So it is just, sad. There are no meetings. There are no. So anyway, this is bad, just gossip which happened.
Got it.
Bizarre stuff. But basically, there was a lack of interest in being together as team. So I think that reflected in their performances those years.
Right. And I'm guessing that there's something has changed in them because the way Shashank Singh went and said we are making the finals last year, it came out a lot of conviction. And I think that's the belief system that somebody like a Shreyas Iyer plus Ponting have probably put in. And I'm just trying to back calculate that because Shreyas Iyer and Ponting played
I think this part of it has got to do with Ponting probably more than Shreyas, because Ponting came in first and would have said, okay, I'm going to do it under these circumstances, right?
Got
You
it.
stay out of my team meetings as owners, right? I get to do whatever. Give me a free run for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. And then the choice of taking Shreyas, and they went after Shreyas, and actually they, just the auction dynamics so good that they got him and didn't have to look for another player like Pant or whatever. Because there's a lot of baggage there, right? A lot of people that year who are available had already played for Punjab, right? I mean, and you have people who not wanting to go back to Punjab because obviously it's not a great environment. I mean, wasn't. I think Ricky Ponting has to take credit for that. You have to give him credit, and combined with Shreyas because they're a good combo, as they were in DC for a couple of years. And DC were also looking at that point of time changing that curve, right? 19, they missed the playoff by that. I mean, they made the playoff, but they. I remember the 19 year, that was the first year of DC. There were 3 teams tied at 18 at the top, and DC had one bad game against TSK, which affected that net run rate. So from being table toppers, they went to 3, and then got eliminated. But 19 and then 20, they made the final, correct?
Yes.
21.
They made the final.
No,
20,
21, they made the playoffs. 20, you're right,
Yes.
they made the playoffs. Sorry,
Made
20,
the
they made the final. Correct.
And 21, they made the playoffs as well, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I think they had
Which
three,
until
four
Tom
players.
Curran Curran lost out to MS Dhoni.
I mean,
He
I
brought
think
him
it had
back
to
to
do with Shreyas getting injured and Rishabh becoming captain. I think there is
Captain, correct.
something to do with that as well, if I'm not wrong.
If I'm not wrong, Rishabh Pant gave an over to Tom Curran at the end instead of giving it to Rabada, and then Dhoni just farmed him. And then,
I think that's where context matters because statistically, Pant was not wrong. But because Tom Curran had taken 3 wickets earlier, but you bowl that pace to somebody like MS Dhoni, he will take you down. Because Dhoni is, like, for example, Dhoni's whole aura in 2015 started coming down after Rabada bowled an amazing death over spell at Kanpur in one of the ODIs in that 2015 series, which we lost 2-3. And that was where Dhoni's, finisher aura was starting to come down. Started with that, game at Sydney in the semi-final where Dhoni was playing a meander like not, motoring, waiting for that last few overs. It never happened. But I thought Rabada to Dhoni would have been a good a thing to bowl in that series in September 2021. The IPL was of course played. What happened?
I don't know about context, man. I don't know in which scenario would you give the ball to Tom Curran ahead of Rabada? Like, what is the scenario?
As a fan, okay, this was the last 19th over or so, and Tom Curran had taken 3 wickets. Now, the thing is, MS Dhoni usually feasts on these 125 to 130. He's like a lion who is too old to hunt high quality bowlers, especially towards 2020-21. At that period, when you give some, like he went after, if you remember, Jaidev Unadkat. So these are bowlers who bowl at 125, 130, who are easy prey for someone like MS Dhoni. But the same, if you have somebody like Anrik Nokia, who's bowling hard lengths to MS, runs are not very easy to score. And there was this brief period where MS didn't have that confidence. Of course, we saw that change in 23, where he was, playing with a more free mind, bad leg but free mind. He was scoring those runs where he hit, I think, Mark Wood for a couple of sixes. And even in 25, he was scoring these 7-ball 18s and stuff like that. But that was more like there's a larger spectacle to MS Dhoni rather than MS Dhoni being part of CSK and giving those inputs. But that's the context. I'm saying Tom Curran as part of Delhi Capitals may not have been the best option when you had Rabada, when you had an over of Rabada, still remaining. But that's how you learn as a captain to know that, okay, man, this didn't work.
I'd agree, but not with the reason exactly. Karan is pretty fast himself, but they're two different kinds
No,
of
he
bowlers.
correct. But the way Rabada bowls and the way Karan bowls, right? Karan was in Dubai. A lot of his 19th over balls were largely slow off cutters that he was bowling, and at his pace. Tom Curran was not express pace like the way you'd see an Andrik Nokia or Kagiso Rabada.
I'll
That's
change the question. If you have a super over, who will you give it to?
Rabada.
There you go. That's the decision.
I would
Always.
give it to Rabada. Yeah.
There you go, right? So the decision is not has he bowled well in the match or not. The decision is who's in pressure, who do you back? So anyway, things of the past. That's now we're talking 6 years ago. It doesn't matter what happened there. But yeah,
Right.
these
Question.
yeah.
Question
Yeah,
from
go ahead.
Andy.
I have no explanation.
On Khalil? I don't know
Yeah.
who. Okay. How do CSK replace Khalil? Think Ambrish is the best option.
Mukesh Stark.
I'm just trying to understand who is Ambrish here, because CSK have to look, because I remember also somebody said Madhwal could be a good option because Madhwal is in the MI bowling reserves, net bowler. So I don't know, these names are coming out of nowhere or probably coming out of the IPL auction list of bowlers who are unsold. But how do CSK replace Khalil? I think they have to look at another left-arm bowler or look at the fitness status of someone like Spencer Johnson. Of course, if you get a left-arm pacer who's Indian, who's reasonably elite level, it would be good. Mukesh, while he hasn't played for India, has bowled very well for CSK in 2022. I'm not sure of his status, fitness, or how do CSK rate him right now. So
No, so if he's doing well, why have they played Gurjapneet ahead of him? That's the question they have to ask, right? So obviously, you have to assume that Gurjapneet is the better left-arm bowler for their plans. Now, their plans include bowling a second left-arm pacer in the middle overs, right? So now, who's the better off guy bowling? Yeah, Ramakrishna Ghosh. I have no idea what he's capable of with a new ball. So there you go. The problem becomes then you have to bring back a Matt Henry for the, because you only have now Anshul Kamboj as the new ball bowler, unless you pick Overton for that. Or a key.
Gurjapneet and Mukesh weren't competing because Gurjapneet is a middle to death overs bowler. Mukesh is a Khalil style bowler. He bowled 2 or 3 at the top. Yeah, so Khalil was obviously the better of the two. So they didn't play Mukesh because he is Khalil's backup. Now that Khalil's gone, Mukesh is probably going to come in if he's fit, which I haven't heard much about.
I'll be curious to watch CSK's social media videos to actually find that out. I still remember that ball Mukesh bowled to Ishan Kishan at Wankhede. Sent the Storms flying in 2022. And I haven't seen him since then. I've, of course, briefly seen him when he sat, next to me around 2023, the CSK GT final. He was in the same enclosure. He was watching the game. And I was like, man, I've seen you somewhere. Why are you with the CSK shirt and watching a match with commoners like us instead of being there? But yeah, didn't want to be asking him. But that said, okay, Andy is saying ideally Hussain and Kamboj with the new ball. Then you're only looking at filling over maybe 1 over of a power play and 2 overs of the middle overs. So maybe you probably don't need Mukesh if your power play is sorted. But still, as a backup, you could look at Mukesh. It's an interesting combination question that's going to come up now.
Who do you bring in?
So I feel Gurjapneet has to step up. He can't now be the 6th bowler. He has to play the 5th bowler, because if that allows them to bring in a Ramakrishna Ghosh or somebody who can bolster their batting also in the apps. Because I'm just seeing their bench. There's not much there in terms of Indian fast bowling talent, apart from Mukesh.
It is a straight swap though. Both are new ball. Both they swing it in. And Mukesh he is kind of homegrown, right? He's been here for a couple of years. I still remember that ball in the Eden Gardens. He's pretty good. He can swing it. I haven't seen him in a while though, so it'll be curious to see.
Let's worthwhile checking his domestic record for the last season or so, which will give you an idea of how well he's performing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to a point that Nirav had mentioned about credit to Ricky Ponting. Apparently, Arshdeep in the TV interviews right now post-match had mentioned that it feels good, to have a chat with Ricky Ponting. Apparently, he told Ricky Ponting that the ball didn't feel right when it left the hand. So he had a good session with Ricky Ponting, and he said the control returned. The ball was seaming after pitching and was swinging. And he said there's nothing technical as a chat, but I think it's also the confidence that you get from somebody like a Ricky Ponting who's been there and done that. And Ricky Ponting told him, man, you're coming off a high. You're a World Cup win. You cannot maintain this all the time. So maybe you've had your bad time, but I think the only thing, you just need to think that okay, that break is over, and you just have to feel confident while you go in and bowl. And I think that's just amazing to see how this knowledge transfer, or how some of these things work. And it's interesting to see that um, he is got back to form. 4 overs, no more than 22 runs, 3 wickets, and he's got like 13 dot balls today. I enjoyed seeing Arshdeep back, because otherwise we were complaining that he's bowling a lot of these wide Yorkers. But I think that's also because if batters are going to hit, that's probably as a defense for a bowler, you end up trying that variation a little too much. But yes, that's something that I remembered what Nirav had said about Ricky Ponting.
Yeah, so all the good Indian pace bowlers have been lapped up by GT and LSG.
And I
Fair
think
point.
GT, right? You've been there. You've understood how the pace bowlers are being. Do you want to talk about that? How Nehra ji.
I mean, yeah, it is Nehra ji. I mean, it's just the effort he puts in, just the attention to detail, his heart. There's a fairly good. I mean, it's surprising because they were all in RCB.
Right.
Vikram Solanki, him. I think Sandeep Basu Sandeep was also there as the analyst. So that whole team and Gary Kirsten, they were just moved and blocked to GT in 22. But yeah, I think it's the environment which gets, where there is jitna bowling karna hai karo, jitna practice karna hai karo, right? So it was nice. It was because I felt there were people who couldn't play the season but also have benefited. Case in point being Sushant Mishra 1 year. Sushant Mishra, I think, is a left-arm bowler from who's now in Rajasthan. Young kid, left-arm quickly, bowls 140 plus. And Karthik Tyagi. Karthik Tyagi made his comeback from injury, was picked up by GT, but couldn't play the season because he was still kind of niggly. I think they might have played him in the odd game. And then I've seen a lot of people who get bumped up from the next bowlers, and they've been taken on, been put in, and they played matches either for GT the next season or somebody else the next season. It's good. It's a good environment for
The story of the net bowler that you say, was that also the case for I forget the bowler who bowled the final over to Jadeja. He played in the 2000 Mohit Sharma, correct? 2015 World Cup.
Mohit Sharma was I mean that 1 year where he wasn't picked up in the thing, Ashish Nehra or somebody called him and said, if you're not doing anything, we'll pay you a fee, come and bowl. And he took it up, and he was available to be drafted into the squad.
Right.
There's a very tall fast bowler from Punjab. Can't remember his name. He's probably in the
Barinder Sran.
No. I'll just get his name. Gurnoor or something. His name is Gurnoor Singh. Very deceptive man. A lot of people struggled in the nets with him, but he played the next year.
Right. Srina is blushing right now. I think he's got someone to come and say, "Oh, talk about my aura there."
Why are you guys bringing up such comments?
Okay, so today's game, any other talking points? I just like the way Quinton de Kock came into the side, and he wasn't your first choice opener. Rohit Sharma goes, and then I think that was a good positive for Mumbai to emerge out of. I know it's been a very disheartening loss for Mumbai Indians today, but would you see that as a good positive outcome? 112 of 60 balls. It looked like it was Quinton de Kock of the old, and he's got I think he was at a base price of 1 crore or 2 crores acquired.
I mean, obviously a great buy.
Stat on Chahal versus left-handers. Chahal, I think I sent this in the group. he has a very high average. He averages like 35 against lefties compared to 19 against righties, and the economy and the strike rate is also very different. So the fact that they had two lefties opening up and Sherfane later on, even though he didn't do much, made the difference. We saw Quinton taking Chahal on later on, but the others couldn't make use of it, right? And there was also another stat on Sherfane Rutherford. He actually struggles against left arm pace. His strike rate against left arm seam is 109. So them using Arshdeep to him first up was actually pretty smart. Whoever's doing the analysis for Punjab, good job to spot that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So looks like Trinay has got all his friends on the stream today. There's a
Why are you
lot of
bringing this
fandom,
up?
fandom.
Random for. Okay, for all the people commenting on Trinay, please tell us some nice, interesting stories on Trinay. You will be suitably rewarded. Waiting to feature your comments. But till then, we have the next match coming up. We're moving away from the Mumbai Punjab game.
Punjab.
Quite a what is that? Boring game of sorts because it was just one-sided. Now I think the next game we're going
Tomorrow's gonna
to
be
is
worse.
Ahmedabad, where we are going to Gujarat Titans and Kolkata Knight Riders, a team that is in cluster 3, in cluster 2, waiting to get a little higher in cluster 2 with respect to the points table. 2 wins in 4 games. They're going to be facing Kolkata Knight Riders, who are waiting to see if they can go one up in cluster 4 above Mumbai Indians, because they're on 1 point. Mumbai Indians are on 2, but as much as Kolkata would want to get their best team out there or discover their best team on the park, there was some good news that was looking to come, which was in getting Patirana. But I am hearing that while his NOC has been approved, he may not play the game tomorrow. But on that game, what are the things that you are looking forward to? I mean, do you think Sunil Narine is still going to open? I thought he opened because they wanted to deter him from CSK from bowling Akil Hussain. Didn't really that's probably why I thought they got Sunil Narine. But given the way Gujarat start with their bowling, do you think Sunil Narine comes, or is it just better to get the same Rahane or Cameron Green at the top?
He has a finger
I'm
injury,
just
doesn't he? Apparently, if he gets hit on the finger, his season's done. Because if he's carrying some injury on his non-bowling hand, on one of the fingers. If somebody bounces him and if he gets hit there on that finger, I think his season is done. So they might not be willing to risk it again.
Which is a fair point. Assuming they don't get Sunil Narine to open at the top, they're having a problem, which is do they go with the Kiwi opening combination of Tim Seifert and Finn Allen, or drop Finn Allen and put Cameron Green at the top?
Wouldn't they rather drop Allen for Seifert?
You think it's a good time
to?
How many people?
Can they keep changing around in a moment, right?
I know, but I'm just trying to understand what else can they do. Finn Allen is come off a really bad run. The last good game he had in a T20 was probably. Did he play well in that first game versus Mumbai Indians? I thought he had a good start. Yes, I think Finn Allen had a very good start. Just that I think Kolkata Knight Riders self-immolated in the death overs. That was the only difference between MI and KKR. That was the second game of the tournament. But yes, I had that question and saying, what is KKR's ideal opening pair? Should it be Finn and Rahane? Should it be Finn and Narine, Seifert and Narine, Seifert and Rahane, or Rahane and Narine? I'm going towards
Seifert. You didn't mention Green as an opener.
This is, I think, from what we have so far tested, they will have. It's a separate topic on what do you do with what do you do with Cameron Green. But amongst the opening pairs they've so far had, which one do you think is more likely?
Okay, before that, is this your best lineup for KKR, or do you think this is the one they're going to go with?
No, this is the one which they played in the last game.
No, I'm going strictly basis what they have
on screen.
Whatever they've played so far, which is their best lineup, is a separate question we can deal with. What do you think is KKR's ideal opening pair amongst the what we've seen so far? Or would you want to just go back?
So I would in this scenario, it's down to do you have the balls to bench Green and take your flack from your fans, because you're taking it in any use, right? that you spent
Right.
shit on him, one then whatever, right? So there are two case scenarios. One is bench him completely, right? Knock him out, bring in a bowler at the bottom, which is Blessing, right? That is one way of approaching this, because you can't make wholesale changes in this team. So one is that option, because Green then is bowling 1 or 2 overs. So you need one more bowling cover, because this bowling lineup is not giving you 20 overs otherwise, right? So one option is take out Green and bring in Blessing Morazabani. The other option is take out Allen, put Green at the top, and see whether that helps. Because that's what Australia is doing, and that's what I said the last time, is that Australia after 5 years has come up with this plan that this is the only place we can put you, because you're useless elsewhere. So
he has decent numbers up actually. While opening for Australia, that's where his best numbers are at.
Most openers have good numbers in today's day and age.
Yeah, if you have an elite batter who's scoring that, you are expected to score runs in the power play, and I think that way, to me, this seems like a more plausible thing to do. Even though I gave you 5 options to choose from, I think Cameron Green replacing Finn Allen might be something that's worth, because what then it allows them to do is to play Blessing Morazabani as an extra bowler.
No, then there is a batting shortage. If Green goes up top in place of Allen, right? You're looking at Green, Rahane, Ankush Raghuvanshi, Rinku Singh at 4, Powell at 5, Ramandeep at 6. End of batting. Sorry. So you need a middle order batter to come in. The only guy they have in the bench is Manish Pandya. There is no
Which is again another anchor.
Rahul.
So
that's
yeah. So yeah, it's a tough spot to be for Kolkata Knight Riders. They don't really have a solution, but that's the beauty of the IPL. Suddenly, solutions show up out of nowhere. I like the way Vaibhav Arora and Karthik Tyagi bowled that day in Chepauk. While Varun is not back to full tilt, I think they have a great spin attack. But in Ahmedabad, it's yet another fairly flat surface, which has these 200 kind of games. Ahmedabad's not your 160 surface. It used to be, I think, in 2022-23, but I think with the impact player rule, scores above 200 are fairly common even in a place like Ahmedabad.
And are being chased.
And being chased, you see?
Yeah.
So I think that way.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that. So that way, I'm just saying that Kolkata Knight Riders need to look at how do you basically have the batting order that doesn't have too many anchors. I know you're talking about Raghuvanshi and Rahane, but then the question comes around: how do you have people who are increasing your run rate? And they did have a problem last time. If teams are going to take note, because Cameron Green, Rinku Singh, Ramandeep Singh looks like they cannot accelerate against spin. At least Rahane and Raghuvanshi are able to motor on.
I don't know about Raman. I don't think Raman has been put in a situation where he's had to. So he's only coming in
just from the last game. And usually, I think when he played for India also in South Africa, Ramandeep Singh, I think, came from a good season where he was batting at 7 and 8, was only striking was his pace. But that's a question that I think we can.
So I think Ramandeep at that time was we found the solution in Shivam Dube. He's a guy who can bowl 125, if required, as the 6th bowling option in an 11 when there's no impact player, and can bat and can power bash either spinners or pacers. So till we discovered Shivam Dube, I think Ramandeep was that guy we were always looking for, right? Another semi all-rounderish kind of guy. But I think the moment you have to make him bowl, then you're saying, okay, is he worth it or not?
Right. Somebody's asking me the question, middle uncle, are you rich? But why that question came out of nowhere?
I don't know.
I'm just going back. I'm just going back to a few questions. One says bench Green. No, that is
agreed.
Arav is asking why it is named Cow Corner. You want to explain?
Yeah, Cow Corner is the place. Yeah, Cow Corner is the place where you basically have these agricultural shots. There's nothing prim proper about it. You're playing freely, and that's also where crowds sit. Deep mid wicket, cheap tickets, just coming, having an opinion on the game. Life is about fun, frolic, and we're just having fun trying to have a conversation, social conversation.
In in the good old days, I think it's named because there was a patch of grass where nobody fielded and cows were allowed to graze, like in the old village county days.
English.
So that's why it's in English cricket. It was an area of the field deep mid wicket was called cow corner, because at that time with orthodox cricket, no balls really went there.
Right.
typically.
Agricultural shots, nobody used to do that. But yeah, I've seen grounds usually keeping their deep mid wicket or the side view for the cheapest tickets, where a bunch of fans are just chilling, lazing, watching the game and having fun. That's what we are. We aren't experts. We're fans who travel for cricket, and we're having social fan conversations. And while we're moving to get from 110 to 111, I'm hoping somewhere David Shepherd is dancing in heaven, because we're approaching 111. And
Victor Trumper started the across the line hitting, right? So we can use his
over 100 years ago.
We can use his image as our logo.
Trina is waiting for the next comment, saying, "How is this 18-year-old talking about things that happened in 1940?"
There's something called
So, yeah, still. Nevertheless, next question is, my dearest friend is asking if Dhoni is capable of returning to T20. I don't know about his fitness, but from whatever we saw, as a CSK fan, I really don't know what is the value Dhoni's batting can specifically ask for CSK. But I think a lot of CSK strategies are only Dhoni, because we had a chat where Dhoni and Fleming, we have 5 trophies, but it is only Fleming. He hasn't really had any silverware to show anywhere across the world. So I think a lot of CSK strategies have been built around MS Dhoni. The guy he needs to be given far more credit than what we see him as. A lot of fans tease him saying tuk and stuff like that. I think Dhoni has a certain value that he brings to the franchisee, but as an individual player who's not the captain or who's not keeping wickets, I'm not sure what's the value we will get with MS Dhoni. That's how I see it. But again, the factor is he fit enough to play? And that's what Nirav had also asked. So that's my answer to that. Ansh Kakkar. And I'm not rich, Ansh. I'm not rich. Otherwise, I would be doing this podcast, not sitting on the floor. You're just looking at a good sofa behind. No, that's it. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get one.
Scene Uploader seems to be rich. He has money to buy advertising space at Cowcorn. Thank you. Ansh, serious question. I don't think that it's an either or, right? With Jaiswal and Sai. So the question is, do you think Sai Sudarshan makes it in front of Jaiswal in the test team? Is it an either or? They're not. Yeah, they're not battling for the same spot. And in the what was the last 11? Was Sai Sudarshan part of our last 11?
No, Sai Sudarshan was part of the England Test series, right?
The South Africa Test series.
South Africa Test series, he was in.
He got one.
No, he batted 3. He batted 3, and Gill at 4, and then when Gill got injured, Dhruv Jurel came.
Yeah.
That's, and in test matches, I'm beginning to forget. I used to remember the last 10 test matches.
In fact, the last 5 test matches that I've been to, I have vivid memories. India's lost every one of them. I went to Bangalore, India lost against New Zealand. Then I went to Mumbai, India lost.
I went for 2 hours in that game. The only 2 hours where India didn't lose a wicket. Where it was
on day 3.
Pant and this one, Sarfaraz and Pant were at it.
Sarfaraz. This is before the ball
in between 2 rain spells. So it rained, then they came into bat, then it rained again. So I came in while it was rainy, I went out while it was raining. So I thought, no, by the time I reached home, they had lost 4 more wickets. So nearly, I watched all. I think it was almost a 200-run partnership I watched in 3-4 hours.
Oh yes, it was a very good partnership. Exactly after the 80th over, when the new ball was changed, that is where I think New Zealand came back into the game. But yes, that game, Wankhede again versus New Zealand, then Melbourne versus Australia, Sydney versus Australia, and then Kolkata versus South Africa. I was just thinking, damn, every game I've gone, India has lost. So it's like a bad record to pick up. I'm going to go to Sri Lanka again. It is me, and I want to test it out. I'm going to go to Sri Lanka in July. Let's see, because I want to watch a match at Galle. So, and I think our group will probably pick a villa and drive around Colombo Galle Highway. We anyway have Indusan, who's going to help us with meeting a few cricketers over beer, and we'll see how things go.
Oh, nice.
Friend of Joe.
I have a cricketer friend also in
nice.
in Sri Lanka.
What is his
Prabhat
name?
Jayasuriya.
Huh? He's currently in the IPL. Let me put it this way.
Ah,
I'll get him. So carrying on, let's compete. Let's get to scene uploader says Sai isn't competing with Jaisal but with Gill for the T20 anchor role, and Gill is ahead obviously. I don't think either of them are getting into the T20I squad for a while, because I mean, based on today, you have now another opener who's in the mix, and surely at some point Shreyas and Rajat Patidar have to get a look in. They just make batting look so easy. You know, when Shreyas that first four Shreyas hit, no, you felt like what is this going on? Like, why did MI complicate this batting? Because these guys make batting look very, very easy. Comfortable hits for six, and balls going through fielders' hands and stuff like that start happening. Yeah, I think.
yeah, I think the fair point. I don't think these guys, anchor guys, are going to get an opportunity very soon, because there's a Ruturaj Gaikwad who's played for India, who has 150 ball 100 versus Australia. So he's done the hard yards, but not in form right now.
He's our only Asian Games gold medal winning captain ever.
That's a good trivia. And that said, so scene uploader has probably guessed, who your friend is. Okay, the answer is no. So we need to. I think would you guys be interested if we actually have a quiz? We were discussing this yesterday, that if we have like a little quiz every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, then we get to put points out for some of our commenters, and we'll take our commenters for a nice beer and have more cricket conversations, or we'll print a nice T-shirt for you.
So eligibility is what? Bangalore based or Chennai based? Is that what?
Yeah, we'll
regionally restricted.
We're regionally restricted, or we'll just you can go drink in some place and we'll buy you a couple of beers. It's easy to GPay it. So we thought we'll do a little quiz all IPL.
The show is underage, by the way.
33% of the show is under 18, right? You're not technically underage. Did you study late?
So if he'll give you the beer, and like Sachin, you wait till you turn. Remember that story? He won a champagne.
I saw that photograph.
That is, he was 18, and then he waited till he got married to drink it.
Sachin got married really early, right?
But he must have been 21, 22. Not younger than that.
That is really.
I think it would have been 95 or something, 95 maybe. So he would have been
22.
22. Yeah.
I'm just at an odds for thinking, what was I doing at 22? Sachin was already 6 years into playing for India and doing stuff. Okay, scene uploader says bring on the quiz. So thanks for that feedback. We'll go and get some questions for tomorrow. This is tomorrow's teams that are playing, and we've just discussed KKR and GT. GT don't have any injury concerns, but they've so far not yet fielded Jason Holder. Do you think there's a chance they play Jason Holder?
No.
So Glenn Phillips is the one question mark, right? Because their other overseas players are seeming to do the job, right? There's Rabada could be an option. Rabada has had a couple of weak games, especially because the other guys have been doing well, right? So Rabada has been, I think, 4 overs for 50 in the last 2 games. So their opening overseas options are Josh Butler, Rabada. Who else?
Glenn Phillips
and Rashid Khan, right? So Rashid stays. Josh Butler stays.
For some reason, Rashid doesn't even feel like a foreign cricketer, man. I was even thinking, who else is there? And Rashid's name came by. Rashid looks like one of us. Yes.
Yeah, there was all
Afghani India bhai.
Yeah, it's only, I think, he's not like white cheeks fair like Noor is, or he's not got the light eyes.
Look as if fair.
And he speaks Hindi. We used to talk to him Hindi.
And Afghanistan actually feel like an extension of Akhand Bharat. Most of the Afghan cricketers are very warm to look at, to listen to them speak. And for Gujarat used to be like the flag bearer of Afghanistan cricketers, right? There was Omar Zai, there was Noor, and then there was Rashid Khan.
Rashid Khan was there forever. Yeah.
Rashid Khan's come in 2022. But yeah,
So there's
otherwise he
an
was from
assistant
Sunrise.
coach. His name slips my mind. Very nice guy. Let me just look at their squad. Do they have the coaching staff? So he was also like Afghan, but living in England. Very. I mean, he was forgotten his name. Very nice guy.
Scene uploader says Ghazan, as we're speaking on Afghanistanis, Ghazan Far looks like Mani Ratnam will launch him in a college rom-com. I think a lot of Tamil people will.
Naeem Amin.
Naeem.
That was his name.
Achha, okay.
So and he was good friends with Rashid and whatever. So there was a little bit of a bloody good cooks, man. Because my first 2 seasons at GT, Eid fell in the middle of IPL.
Achha.
So they would cook. So Rashid and his gang would cook the Eid feast for everybody. Like incredible, crazy guys. What like unbelievable stuff. So like big dishes would come and they would use the and they would feed you like typical Punjabi uncles. Khao beta, khao.
Right.
Put more in your plate. Khao. Go back home like unbelievable. Great
It's
experience.
interesting you say all that with the food. I thought cricketers were not going to be as generous with food because they have fitness and other issues to look at. How do you see that? Or
I mean, they have big days. I don't know, maybe, so at the end of it, meat is also protein, right? So they look at it like, I mean, obviously there are very, very fitness conscious, very diet conscious, nutrition conscious, but there are also younger guys for whom it doesn't matter how much they eat, right? When you're Trine's age, then it doesn't show in your metabolism is good, your workouts, and they're elite level workouts as well, right?
Right. Trine is actually a lot bigger than what he seems he is, right? Trine never looked like an 18-year-old when I met him in Chennai last week. He looked like bulked up and all of that. So, but yeah, Ghazanfar looks like Mani Ratnam will launch him in a college rom-com. It'll be interesting to see Ghazanfar come and make these Mani Ratnam dialogues. Like now,
wasn't there a Shah Rukh Khan film where 2 Irish cricketers got punched or something? Two of the island cricketers were in a Shah Rukh Khan movie. They made a small cameo. I didn't watch the movie. I saw it in a shot. They were playing some small cameo. I don't know. Shah Rukh Khan movie and 2 Irish cricketers. That's all I remember. They got punched or something.
I haven't watched a lot of Shah Rukh Khan movies recently, but I'm just imagining which character will Ghazanfar be, which Mani Ratnam character. Will he be Alai Paide Madhavan or will he be Karthi from... there's some movie in 2013 with, I forget Siddharth's wife, Hyderabadi princess. But yes, she also acted in Rockstar. I forget her name. But yes, that's a interesting off-topic conversation. Scene uploader, Cuddle. It is not Cuddle. Sorry, some other movie. But coming back, I think that's all we have. Let's quickly take
Isn't
a look
it pronounced Cuddle?
Cuddle means see. Kadal is love. Cuddle is the sea or life by the sea. In Cuddle, you can have Kadal. And Mani Ratnam specializes in that.
Kadal has a H.
Which is why a lot of Chennai people end up going to Goa thinking that Kadal ingi irukkum, Kadal angi irukku, but Kadal kadaikuma. That's like a bad joke, but anyway. Okay, so that's all we almost have. We're 114 today. Just quick round of predictions on who's going to go. I know Steve Bai had a very interesting prediction. He said KKR.
I think KKR is going to win.
I will say still the chasing team.
Okay, I'm going to go with Steve Bai on a limb and say KKR. Tomorrow is going to be the day they discover their combination. Something is going to happen. I think Korbo, Lorbo, Jeetbo, and KKR is going to go 9th on the points table. Mumbai will go 10th. And as a CSK fan, I was doing this whole simple combination. Mumbai has been 10th, 4th, 10th, 4th, and so it's normal that going by that law of arithmetic progression, they're back to 10th again. Just a little, I was just joking around. I always now want the familiarity of an MI-CSK final hasn't been done in like 7 years. I would prefer an MI-CSK final.
When was the last MI-CSK final?
2019, when Shardul Thakur couldn't fend one ball from who was that? Somebody bowled that ball slower one.
Lower foot toss at 135.
Yeah, I
The
thought
funny thing
CSK
is
was
they
winning
took
that.
him out and they brought him back in. He didn't play in 2018, and then he came back in 19, and then he won it for them.
Right. So yeah, I'll go with KKR for now. What about you, Nirav? Are you going with the same
I'm
chasing
going with
side?
chasing team. Yeah, chasing team.
Okay. And whose
I'm
Still
going
autograph
with
is
with
that on your cap, Nirav?
that's I think the man of the match from today.
Who's that?
Shreyas.
Shreyas Iyer?
Was Shreyas man of the
Arshdeep
match?
Singh?
No.
Arshdeep. Wow. Okay. So,
So I
Trinay, what is your and then when was this autograph from Arshdeep? Which was it? While
some time back, Asia Cup time.
Asia Cup? When Arshdeep came on BWC?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Trinay,
I just
what is your
happened to have a
choice?
Punjab Kings cap on set.
Gujarat.
Okay. Gujarat Titans. So we're 1-1, and Nirav is like the floater. He will go
Sitting
ahead.
on the fence.
Uh, and somebody's saying, seen uploader. By the way,
Oh,
going on
wow.
another. Nirav's soundtrack was on a banger OST. Ek Manzil was my favorite for many months. In fact, I was one of the 2.5 people in the theater to watch that movie. Which
Yes,
movie
you
were
have
you saying?
no idea. You have no idea what he's talking about, right? So thank you, Steve
Yeah,
Uploaders. So soundtrack was a film I made released in 2011, and yes, I still believe it's one of the best OSTs, original soundtracks. It had 14 songs, three of them covered versions of old Kishore Kumar songs, and then the other 11 were
ah,
new songs. New songs by artists who at that time were unknown and unheard of. Guys, if you've now heard of Karsh Kale, he did the soundtrack for Belly Boy. There's an artist called Medieval Pundits. There's
mhm,
an Ankur Tiwari who did a song. There's Papon who did a song, all relatively at the top of their career. And Ek Manzil was it was a story of a musician. So Ek Manzil was the finale song. And he says it was my favorite
nice.
for months, if not years. In fact, I was one of the 2.5 people in the theater to watch that movie. Yeah, so fair enough. I think
Secret
we had.
admirer, Nirav.
Oh, well, thank you, Screen Uploader. Most people, I mean, not I don't know too many people who saw it in the theater. I mean, I know, but it didn't
So
have very
Nirav,
good
you made
theatrical
that
reach.
movie? What is it?
I
What's
directed
the
one.
thing
I
with
wrote and
this?
directed the film.
Oh,
I wrote and directed a film. I mean, back in the day, I was a filmmaker. Now I'm a YouTube podcaster, whatever they call it.
that's interesting. That's I didn't know that somebody I think has done research on you. So scene uploader, you already are closer to that beer than you think you are, whichever city you are. If you're in, I think you said you're in Bangalore, right? Steve Boy says,
Uh,
can we have a watch party for Nirav's movie? Nirav, do you want to do that? As a
sure.
filmmaker, it's lovely
It's
to
on Hotstar.
talk about.
A
It's
cut
on
censored
Hotstar.
version is on Hotstar. Yeah. That was one of the
Sounds
most
good.
painful experiences of my life, actually. Cutting down
Okay.
17 minutes to allow it to go on whatever streaming, because it was an A-rated film, so there was a lot of
Okay.
drugs and alcohol and substance abuse sequences. So it was literally I had to
So,
remove 10 seconds at a time, totaled up 17 minutes. So, but
so
yet
17
it's okay.
minutes is only drugs, or were there more scenes
Sex, drugs,
also?
and I would say sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, there was one full scene of
Okay.
2.5 minutes, which I had to knock off, but a lot of 15 minutes.
Okay, then I close your eyes. It's not for you. So we should have just those 17 minutes short as a watch party.
Yes.
So, so yeah, that was an interesting way to end. And what is this? Kolkata? Is this Deepak? Somebody's
That
asking.
is scene
This is
uploader.
Deepak. You know who Deepak is? Okay. Some Deepak from Kolkata.
Not the one from the podcast.
Okay. All right. So this is it. We're ending at 122 people today. Thanks for turning up, staying up late, midnight. And tomorrow, GT versus KKR. Looking forward to see KKR cause an upset and go ninth. But yeah, thanks for staying with us. If you have not yet subscribed, do subscribe to the Cow Corner Dugout on YouTube. And yeah, see you tomorrow night, same time, 11 o'clock. We're always there at 11 p.m. So see you then.